What? Excuse me, but could you please repeat that?
Welcome back to Persona 5 Royal. We begin with an interview already in progress.
Now, nothing's been decided as of yet. But at the rate that things are going, Yoshizawa-san's honor status could possibly be revoked. Something so serious should, of course, be brought to the attention of both her parents and yourself.
I've been told that her results at the latest meet were quite laudable. Isn't revoking her status as an honor student a bit of an overreaction on the school's part?
I understand how you feel, but, well, third place doesn't really cut it in this case.
Let me guess, second place wouldn't cut it either.
She needs to attain first place results for her exceptional status to be worthwhile.
Thought so.
Don't get me wrong here. Personally, I think her results are impressive, but I suppose the argument could be made that if she's going to represent Shujin and receive special treatment, it's not enough. Please don't shoot the messenger here, okay? This is necessary to guarantee fairness across the entire student body.
I mean, admittedly, this is like one of the least awful things Shujin has done, considering the Kamoshida stuff in the past.
It's not as if you've been expelled or the like. Another meet's coming soon. Please try for the results the school wants to see.
Although, are you suggesting that if she gets bad results in the next meet too, she will be expelled?
Sir, putting excessive expectations on Yoshizawa-san will only be to her detriment.
Oh, that wasn't at all my intention. I just wanted to give her a little encouragement. Dr. Maruki, please continue serving the student body as counselor and providing support to Yoshizawa-san. This meeting was merely meant to express how the entire faculty will be supporting her.
Or not supporting her, as the need may be.
That's the reason I had you sit in today, Dr. Maruki.
Supporting her. I see.
At any rate, that's all I wanted to discuss with you today. Please keep in mind, these changes are all hypothetical, unless Yoshizawa-san doesn't provide better results. Well, I suppose we should wrap up here.
Excuse me.
What's wrong with Yoshizawa? Didn't she seem off to you? Oh, it's... Yoshizawa must have dropped it.
That charm from Hawaii.
Shoot, she's gone. Let's return it after school. We should at least send her a text so she knows where it is.
Well, at least that's an excuse to meet up with her, but I feel like we're probably gonna have to talk to her about a lot more than just a drop charm.
Maybe I left it in here.
Huh? How did Yoshizawa-san handle the news?
Oh no, it's Mr. Mini Kobayakawa.
She seemed pretty downcast. I think it was quite the shock to her.
I truly hope this is what finally drives her to succeed. She needs to push herself beyond third place and bring home some stronger results. And soon.
Vice Principal, I know I've already told you this, but your approach here is going to affect her adversely. Trying to motivate her with harsh words is only going to give her more anxiety.
Dr. Maruki, we aren't running a charity. If she's going to receive special treatment, she needs to provide adequate results.
This is actually one case where I feel like the Shujin faculty is being somewhat reasonable.
Praising her until her head swells may be your idea of therapy, but we can't afford to just butter her up forever.
And this too. Yeah, sometimes just being totally positive with therapy isn't always the best way to go.
We took in those sisters to improve Shujin's standing, but at this rate, we're only going to end up suffering for it.
And now I'm back to disagreeing with you again, because now it's all about, oh yeah, we only take in these students to make our school look better.
Not only have we lost one of them, but the other one's not doing us any good. Talk about a waste of effort.
Why did we have to take in those students and then one of them got hit by a car? That was so awful, not for her family or her sister or anything, but for us because we lost a student who was performing well.
Sir. Oh, pardon me. But there's no denying. First with Mr. Kamoshida, now the principal's death. We've got our backs to the wall here. Huh. If this school doesn't bounce back soon, even my own ass will be on the line.
And still back to hating this guy. He's just concerned about keeping his job.
That'll be all. Excuse me.
In fact, maybe it'll be for the best if this results in him losing his job, then maybe finally Kawakami will be principal like she always should have been.
I just cannot understand.
I'm so fed up with how happy everyone is. I mean, it's unscientific, but is it unscientific with a PSI in front? I actually, it was only during editing for that video in the Futaba arc that I looked up what cognitive science was in Japanese, and I think, now, it's a really brilliant localization. In the Japanese version, it was, they used a different kanji for the ka part of kagaku instead of the science ka, and in English, it's PSI instead of, it's sort of like a homophone thing with PSI instead of science with an SCI. Just think it's a really clever way to do things. But yeah, you're just concerned with, oh no, I could lose Big Bang Burger.
You.
Well, I mean, I know it keeps expanding and expanding in all of the directions it can whiz. 3 watermelons in the sun. What are the melons? I feel like if Ryuji was asked this question, he'd be like, oh, melons, where? No, in this case, it would be stars.
This is it. That's it.
The density of stars in the vast night is 3 Bs in the whole of Europe. So, in other words, the universe is kind of like Australia. Yes, the world's largest island, but very sparsely populated.
Nice.
Monday's just something interesting to think about. You'd think that with how big things are, there'd have to be some other planet with life out there. Well, I mean, you know, there is the whole mementos thing. Our hearts are closer than you would think.
Hello? Senpai. I'm sorry. I just now noticed that you tried to reach me.
What's going on? I think you really need a new phone.
My smartphone seems to be acting up again. You found my good luck charm, right? Odaiba, in front of the stadium, where we met before.
She's at the stadium?
Senpai, sorry, I can't hear you.
I guess her signal cut out. I couldn't hear everything, but it seems like she's at the stadium. She seemed to be acting unusually this morning, too. Do you think something happened? Me too. When we met her there last time, she did mention that she goes there when she's depressed. Well, let's see how she's doing when we drop off her good luck charm. To Odaiba, right?
No connection. I should have gotten this thing replaced already.
Yeah, exactly like what I was saying.
I'm so useless. I do nothing but cause trouble for Senpai, and even Dr. Maruki. I'm supposed to be the Kasumi Yoshizawa.
Come on, I want to get a parfait.
Yeah, just a sec. I'm looking up a spot right now. It's supposed to be somewhere around here.
Ugh, you've gotten us totally lost. I don't recognize any of these places.
That actually sounds like Arn's voice actress to me.
is that building even supposed to be, anyway?
I think they're building some kind of convention center. Or was it a research lab? What's it matter, anyway?
It's not a lab, it's a stadium. Hmm?
Beginning navigation.
Hey, is that... What the...
Thief outfits. Wherever we are, someone already thinks we're a threat. Also, yeah, looks like Igor's been handing out that app more than we thought he was. Maybe she's had this ever since we met her, all the way back in, it was May, wasn't it?
This atmosphere... Is this a palace? But we never activated the nav. Wait. Do you think it was Yoshizawa? It's a possibility. She wasn't anywhere near us when we slipped into this palace. She can't fight like we do. We have to find her, fast.
This music is amazing.
Let's go.
It's obviously new to Royal, but yeah. Welcome to the Unknown Palace, with a very creepy unknown ruler. Now, before we go in, I just want to talk about how this event works. This normally happens on the 3rd of October. However, unlike the event where we first met Yoshizawa, if you send the calling card on the 2nd, the game will let you do that, and you will be fighting Okumura today instead. If that happens, this event is moved to October 4th instead. It's kind of funny that there's a thing about October 4th in Persona games and something very significant in the plot happening then. Here we are at a place that seems like it has hair growing all over the place. And, some banners. South, okay. An elevator. This is one of the more modern palaces we've been to. Up we go. Let's try and find out whose this is. And, you know, save Yoshizawa too. Silver doors, huh? Okay then. So let's check out what persona we have. Yeah, being on Valkyrie is good for Attack Master. I think I'll keep it that way. Now this segment is generally designed to still be doable, even if you have weak personas. So don't worry about being suddenly thrust into a dungeon. Happiness Cognitive Science. Basic Cognitive Science.
I have something.
That's kind of, I wish I could read this kind of stuff in more detail. Should be straight through this door, right? No, of course it wouldn't be that easy. But,
Oh!
well, I already found out that from Third Eye, but still. Yeah, we need to find a way up, and I love the pigeons here too. This place just has this very clean, modern aesthetic. Entrance hall, entrance hall. Testotoraku, test track. Test track. Is this place still a stadium then? Seems like still some kind of athletic facility. I don't know what cognitive science has to do with athletics though. Or what masses of golden hair have to do with either of those things.
Who's there? Was that Yoshizawa? Yeah. Stay on guard, though.
So, when you slide down this, you'll want to be ready for a fight.
Why? How are you here?
Who's that? Is she a cognitive being?
Cognitive being, or maybe even the ruler of this palace, I don't know. I mean, there's no yellow eyes, so maybe it's not a shadow?
It's my fault. What?
Come on.
You must... Kasumi. Stop! Stop it!
Given the way you're reacting, maybe it is a shadow.
You must...
Hurry! Yoshizawa's in trouble!
Heresy! You dare to spurn our Lord's mercy!
Are you alright, Yoshizawa?
That voice... Senpai?
Yeah, don't mind the outfit, we've got a bit of a cosplaying side hobby. We'll explain in a few moments.
Looks like that thing's ready to rumble.
Accept yourself. Our Lord laments the foolishness birthed from your pain.
What are you talking about?
I heard the school moved her exam period. Must be nice getting perks like that.
Where are these voices?
Her whole I'm not bothered routine really pisses me off sometimes. Getting special treatment is like, whatever if it's deserved. But do you think she's earned it?
I understand how you feel, but, well, third place doesn't really cut it in this case. She needs to attain first place results for her exceptional status to be worthwhile.
Not only have we lost one of them, but the other girl's not doing us any good. Talk about a waste of effort.
I've had enough of this.
Yoshizawa?
You know, maybe we didn't have to come in and save her. Maybe her accidentally falling into a palace, like many people we've met so far, will be the best thing that's ever happened to her.
You're telling me I'm not cutting it? As if I don't know that better than anyone! Still, I don't care what anyone says about me. I will not tolerate anyone speaking ill of our dream! It's all in your best interest. Filling my life with this pressure. Demanding the results that you want.
Yoshizawa? Could she be?
And now you're all branding me a failure? Let me remind you who you're talking to. I am Kasumi Yoshizawa!
So adamant. Rather than accept a life in cinders, you'd strive towards splendor. You know the risks. Well, if those really are the shoes you've chosen, then we'll dance to the end.
This has got to be... Look at that!
I am thou art I. Accept this contract, the spell cast upon you.
I request we have a rematch. This time, I'm going all in with Cendrillon!
We'll show you the way to do this. Nothing too reckless, okay?
What are those numbers that are ticking up over there? In fact, yeah, I can probably translate what's written there in Japanese right now.
Thank you. Please do.
It's not anything we have to concern ourselves with right now, though. So, if we press the square button, we can actually check out Kasumi's new persona. And we can even check her background, too. So I'll be going over her in more detail after this fight is over, but having Apt Pupil's pretty cool. And her stat build is mostly leaning towards strength and agility, with kind of decent magic too, but as is usually the case in Awakening battles, the enemy is typically weak to the new party member's element. Also, that thing is a synthetic organism. Actually comes from the Cthulhu mythos. Though we won't actually know what its true persona name is just yet. Evil synthetic organism is all we'll call it for now. Right, do I have any decent bless skills on me at the moment? I mean, I have Hummer. Yeah, I'd rather do this because I don't want to steal Kasumi's spotlight here. I'm actually not entirely sure if you can get a finisher in this fight. I kind of want to try, though. Let's go Tempest Slash. I guess I can hit you a little bit more.
This isn't over.
And she's pretty good at dodging stuff. Okay, is this gonna finish it? I kind of hope it is, because I do want to figure out if we can get Kasumi's finisher here, because that would be a really cool way to end this. Gives you a lot of attack portrait too. Not quite though. In that case, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and double guard. Okay, she got crit, that's interesting. And afraid. That's not how you should be acting after you've just awakened your persona. Nope, okay then. Well, it looks like I'm not getting the finisher. Let's just, end this. There we go. The Kasumi Yoshizawa has reawakened. Kasumi is a physical attacker focusing on agility and critical hits. She runs a build many people wish Yusuke did. Not only does she actually learn Apt Pupil, she starts with it. And she's got a mix of single and multi-target physical skills. And unlike Ryuji and Yusuke, her magic stat is quite solid, letting her act as a decent mixed attacker with bless skills. She even has the highest agility of the party, beating out Makoto by exactly 1 point at max level. But all of this comes with a couple of significant downsides. Her endurance is by far the worst of the party. And with physical skills cutting into her HP, she's very reliant on dodging to survive. She also surprisingly beats Ryuji for the worst SP in the entire party. Though since her bless skills are the only thing she needs to spend SP on, that's not as big a drawback as you'd think. Her persona trait is Veil of Midnight, which has a chance of preventing allies from being knocked down by criticals or weaknesses. For me, this is firmly in the it's nice when it does trigger, but don't rely on it category. Overall, Kasumi is, somewhat fittingly, a glass cannon, hitting hard and providing lots of baton passes through critical hits, but very reliant on defensive support from her allies to stay alive. But why does she not learn her next skill until level 75? I'm sure that doesn't imply anything at all. Nope, nothing. Persona trivia. Kasumi's persona is Cendrillon, the French name of Cinderella. The Cinderella story is one that's existed in oral tradition for a very long time in human history, so it's impossible to give anyone credit for it. But this version is named Cendrillon in honor of the French version by Charles Perrault in 1697. Not only was this one of the most popular written versions of the story, it's also the one the vast majority of modern interpretations draw from, since it was the first version to introduce now common elements like the fairy godmother, the slippers, and the pumpkin carriage. An important note is the much darker and gorier Brothers Grimm version actually came after this one. So it's not the true form of the story and more like an edgy rewrite. But you might be wondering, what does Cinderella have to do with phantom thieves? Well, when you look at it metaphorically, she grew up as an abused, impoverished servant girl courtesy of her stepmother, and yet she was the one who married the prince in the end. You could say that Cinderella stole a future that wasn't meant for her. And 3, 2, 1, new clothing freakout. Or just general freakout.
Hey, are you alright?
I can't be weak anymore.
Whoa!
Just careful not to push yourself. Usually when you awaken to a persona, you're gonna get pretty exhausted afterwards, so...
I'm quite impressed, considering how you just awakened to your persona and all.
She's probably just running on pure adrenaline right now and will end up crashing even harder after we get out of here.
Senpai, right?
Yeah, this mask doesn't do a good job of hiding our identity at all.
I could tell from your voice and your posture.
At least from people who already know us.
By the way, why are we dressed like this now?
There it is. It's a really long story.
Well, of course. This has to be awfully confusing for her. Looks like they found us.
Also, I can't believe that she isn't freaking out about our weird cat monster at all. She probably wouldn't even put together that it's the cat that we have in the real world.
Time to get out of here, quick. We can explain later.
Right. Oh, we're back at...
Where we entered. So, yeah, no big palace exploration this time. No real leads on who's the ruler of that place either.
Huh? My clothes changed back to normal too.
Yes, it's called the Magical Transforming Phantom Thief outfit. You get used to it.
This was your location before you entered the metaverse. We all just came back.
And cat speaking freak out in 3, 2...
Came back? Did we go somewhere?
About that.
Also, she doesn't even care, wow.
Please, tell me anything you might know about what's going on.
I suppose, yeah, the talking cat is not the weirdest thing about all of this, to reference that again. So, yeah, it makes sense.
I need to know what just happened to me.
I know how you feel, but...
Okay, so, Cliff Notes version, right, so, people desires crazy palace, rebellion, persona, awaken, hit things weak, knock down, win. Yeah, that's about it.
What should we do?
At this point, she's kind of one of us, whether we or she likes it or not. She's a phantom thief now. Accidentally.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'll tell you everything from the beginning.
Thank you.
Still no freak out.
A metaverse with palaces and personas.
She is still not saying anything about Morgana talking.
I'm sure it's not easy to wrap your head around all of this in one go.
Normally I wouldn't believe any of that, but after seeing it all for myself...
Yeah, it's a lot easier for somebody to understand this explanation if they've actually just been in the mental world.
But wow, you're so good at explaining things, Mr. Kitty.
I'll let that last part slide this time. But isn't there something else that should be surprising you?
Yeah, for the record, he doesn't like being called a cat. You're gonna have to know that. That's like the first thing you're gonna have to know if you want to be part of us.
Huh? A cat's talking?
There we go!
Took you long enough, and I am not a cat. I am Morgana.
I see. Well, since you seem to know a lot more about this than I do, maybe I should call you Morgana-senpai.
The moment I saw this, my headcanon is that Morgana thinks in his head right now, Morgana-senpai? Damn it, I simped for the wrong girl!
Oh, that's right. Don't you have something for her?
Oh yeah, right, that, before this whole debacle happened.
You came all this way to return this? Thank you so much.
So, we were actually kind of hoping to have a psychological breakthrough with you after we gave you this, but it turns out it happened in the opposite order.
You didn't seem your usual self this morning. Did something happen?
Well, I didn't get a chance to tell you yet, but I got 3rd place in the last meet. Of course I'm not happy about it, but it looks like the school is even more displeased. I was summoned to the guidance office this morning. I was warned that the school might revoke my honors status if I don't improve my results soon. It would be due to my own inability to succeed in gymnastics, so I have to say it's not an unfair consequence. But I also overheard the vice principal talking about how I'm a useless waste of effort.
And also acting like your sister's death was just an inconvenience for the school.
And I dragged Dr. Maruki into this mess too, since he was with me when I got the news. That's what really got to me.
It sort of says something that her biggest concern here is not for, like, herself, but actually for Maruki.
That's a tough break.
So I ended up coming here. And then all of a sudden, I was in that place we just left. But I'll be just fine now.
Really? Okay, so in the future, maybe be careful what you say, and, also that weird creepy eye app thing, you can't delete that, by the way. Don't even try.
I feel like whatever happened in there helped me to get over it. I'm going to realize my dream for sure.
I mean, awakening to a persona is basically a psychological breakthrough, so hopefully she'll have a more positive attitude from now on.
Seems like you really are on the up and up now.
Although, here's the thing though, again, since you have a persona, you're kind of one of us whether you like it or not, so, we might be calling on you, maybe, later?
But then again, how did Yoshizawa end up finding a palace in the first place? It sounds like it was pure coincidence based on what she's told us.
Well, I mean, it was pure coincidence that we first got into Kamoshida's.
The nav.
Well, I suppose that makes the most sense. Hey, do you mind if we take a quick look at your phone? If the nav's on there, we'd be able to tell whose palace that was with the search history.
Sure, it's right. Sorry, this won't do any good.
Why's that?
The battery's dead. It's been acting up for a while now, so that could have something to do with it.
Oh boy, of course. Convenient battery death. So, guess we'll never know then. At least this is better than in Devil Survivor 2, where somebody's phone battery dying actually gets them killed if you don't intervene in time, because phones are how you actually fight in that universe.
Oh, really? Shouldn't you get that checked out? Well, it's not like that was a palace we've been after, so I guess it's no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal that someone's running around this city with a distortion big enough to spawn a palace who we don't even know about. Yeah, that's no big deal at all.
We couldn't make its ruler our target unless we reached a unanimous decision anyway.
That is true. We'd have to learn more about them in the real world and what they were even doing.
Okay, I've been meaning to ask. Are you two part of the Phantom Thieves?
Well, we're...
You are, aren't you?
So, busted again, and, yep, you just bad-mouthed us, along with Akechi, right in front of our faces.
I knew it. Wait. That means, when we were at the cafe with Akechi-san, I basically told the Phantom Thieves themselves that I don't agree with what they're doing.
Oh no, don't worry, Akechi himself does that all the time. It's really, really funny.
sorry.
Don't worry about it. With that out of the way, what's your call?
Yeah, we could have an acrobatics expert for our whole heist crew.
Yoshizawa, of course. Considering how she did back there, don't you think she'd make a worthy addition to the Phantom Thieves?
Well, I mean, she got crit and status in her first battle, but I mean, it happens to the best of us.
So, you mean you want me to join the Phantom Thieves?
Again, we kinda don't really have much of a choice, because, yeah.
In a nutshell, yeah. You've awakened to your persona, you're aware of the existence of palaces, and from the looks of things, you've got quite the potential. If you're willing to join us, we'd be glad to have you.
I see.
You don't have to give us an answer right now.
Actually, yes, you do. Please do.
I mean, you probably shouldn't make any decisions until you learn more about what it is we're actually doing.
I mean, that's a good point, Morgana, but at the same time, she probably should make a decision now, please.
Thank you, but I'm sorry. I have to turn down your offer.
Otherwise, she might do that.
Cool. So we'll head home for now and... Wait. What?
When I awakened to my... persona, was it? I also realized something. I can't keep obsessing over my shortcomings in gymnastics like this. So that's why I can't join you at the moment.
I mean, but being a Persona user and fighting in palaces, it doesn't exactly detract from your out-of-palace life. If anything, it enhances it. You have plenty of time to work on your real-life stuff.
Because you need to focus on your gymnastics.
Because, yeah, we focus on taking kids out to maid cafes, to mention some of the less time-consuming things we do.
I'm truly sorry to say no after all you've done for me.
I mean, basically the Phantom Thieves have an excellent work-life balance. Seriously, there's no reason for you to turn us down.
You may be right.
Yeah, you'll get to parkour all over the palaces, what do you say?
But I think I'd only cause you all more trouble if I were to join up without being totally invested in it. Of course, I won't say a word about this to anyone.
I'm glad you catch on so quickly. Well, if you ever change your mind about us, just let us know, okay?
Thank you, Morgana-senpai. If that ever happens, I'll get in touch right away.
Yes.
I should extend the same gratitude to you as well, senpai. I swear, one day I will repay you for helping me out in so many ways.
Or you could repay us right now by joining the party.
Shall we get going? Quite a lot's happened today, but I have a feeling I'll try harder than ever before starting tomorrow.
I'm glad to hear it.
Well, see you later.
So, as you can probably tell by how I reacted to all of that, I feel like a lot of that stuff is just an excuse so that she doesn't join the party and so that they didn't have to write her into the rest of the main storyline. Because, yeah, as I pointed out, her next skill is not learned until level 75, which doesn't bode well for when she actually does join. Yeah, this is one of my biggest issues that I have with her, and I do understand it would have taken a while to incorporate her into the main story. Like, they would have had to rewrite a lot, but I just kind of feel like, okay, here's how I think they could have handled it. Fire Emblem often gives you just random pre-promotes out of nowhere who don't have much plot relevance, but you just get them late into the game, and you can just use them as an extra unit in your army if you want to. And they might occasionally chime into some story scenes to say, "Hi, I'm in this scene," and then chime out. It might have felt a little disappointing, but I feel like they easily could have handled her like that. Just have her be a bonus member who just comes with you to palaces. Even without a whole ton of story justification, just as an extra bonus for Royal. I feel like she really could have benefited from the extra screen time because, yeah, I actually think she's the real victim of screen time in this game, not Haru. While Haru definitely does have her issues, I feel like once Haru does join, the game balances her screen time quite well. Yoshizawa, on the other hand, awakens to a persona, has the perfect opportunity to join the party, and then is like, nope, but because I can't actually contribute to the main story until the third semester because we don't want to rewrite anything we've already written. Yeah. Also, Morgana's lying down, which means that we can't do anything except go to bed tonight. So, yeah. Sorry to get kind of all negative here, but it is just something about Royal that annoys me. Because if we check our menu, yeah, we don't even have her here. This is why I checked her Persona stats whenever I got the chance to, because that's the last chance you have to even see Sundreon for a really long time. And, like, when you look at what actually happens later on in the story, there actually are kind of very few reasons for her not to join you for the next few palaces. So it's, anyway, I'm not a huge fan of this, but her awakening was cool, at least. So, with that brief diversion over, it's back to daily life, and I will see you again next time for that, and a Max Confidant, or maybe even 2. Not even I know at this point. Of course, first I'm pretty sure I know who this text is from. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, now could you check the search history? Eventually, yeah. As in, once the vanilla story content is over, we will be waiting quite a while. Yeah, I feel like that phone's beyond help at this point. She should really buy a new one. Also, I'm sure that Morgana is getting a massive ego hit from the fact that somebody's calling him senpai. And yep, Morgana is echoing my sentiments exactly.
I mean...
Oh yeah, this is gonna be weird. So, in addition to my teacher, that honor student that you all met in Hawaii, she accidentally went into a palace, and she knows that me and Morgana are phantom thieves. She doesn't know anyone else, but also she's decided not to join us for some dumb reason. So, yeah, we've got another Persona user running around just with a Persona, with no supervision. That's gonna end totally well. Oh boy, when we explain this to them, it's gonna be even more out of chaos. I mean, hopefully the anonymous threats are gonna stop soon once they find out we actually made good on our promises. I mean, maybe the meter will go to 100% soon. Yeah, let's not freak them out with all of that knowledge just yet. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for, again, 1 Max Confidant or maybe 2.